Yeah, well, that's probably the main thing that we do. We've had the benefit of playing there for a game, so a lot of our players that played last year will be playing again this year. So it's just dealing with that lack of width. The length of the ground's longer than this ground, but it's just a narrow. You feel really closed in, so it challenges your ball movement and probably makes you fearful to move the ball a little bit more than what you would feel normally because there's more of a crowd around the footy. But you can work your way through it if you know what you're doing and you're prepared to take the game on a little bit. So that's just really what we'll do at training today, just to get ready for it.
Does it change anything at the selection table, or you just back your guys?
No, it doesn't change anything. I mean, Geelong's probably the same width. So there are some grounds in the AFL that are like that. We play at Geelong later on in the year, so it's probably good preparation for that as well.
Does it annoy you in any way that you don't get a run on Adelaide Oval for a third straight year, or you just roll with what you're given?
Look, we don't feel a sense of entitlement just because we won the premiership last year or anything like that. We're happy to play wherever the AFL put us. So they'd have their reasons for fixturing things the way that they do, and I don't understand how they go about those decisions. But no, we're not going to waste any energy on where we play. We're just going to try and do the best job we can at where we've been fixtured.
The Bulldogs been going right. Their form's been somewhat impressive of late. How do you sort of prepare to take on their strength?
Yeah, well, they pushed Freo all the way last week. It was a really good game of footy. In fact, they won 2, lost 2, and they could easily have won the 2 that they lost. So they're a really good team. They've been a very good team for a long time. They play a really good contested brand. They're great at stoppage. They can move the ball really well. They've got some big threat up forward in Darcy, and he's going really well. So there's a lot of things that we have to get right to beat them.
Yeah, he's the talk of footy world at the start of this season. He's big and mobile and moves well for such a big guy. Harris or Jack, you think, would probably be able to...
Yeah, it'll be either one of those two. But look, the key to... if he gets easy supply, he's going to be hard to stop. If we can make that supply a bit slower and a bit dirtier, then that becomes a little bit more difficult for a marking player. So it's going to be a team effort, not just the matchups that'll matter.
Everyone's probably had a say on him. Chris, what do you make of him so far this year? I'm sure you would have done a bit of homework on him this week.
Oh yeah, no, he's a fantastic player. I mean, the predictions at the start of the year were that he was going to take off this year. The predictions were right. He can mark the ball. He's got great skill, good game sense. So difficult matchup.
What does go into deciding whether it's Jack or Harris or how you sort of come to that decision?
A little bit's about, they've got Norton in there as well and O'Donnell in there as well, so who matches up well on those players? There's a bit of that. Sometimes we play Harris on the main man, sometimes we don't. We'll let Jack do that and let Harris play on somebody else that allows him to sort of zone off a little bit more. So they're all the things that you sort of think about when you come into a game like that. I won't tell you what we're going to do, but they're the considerations.
It's exciting for the fans that I think Harris mentioned earlier in the week, you haven't lost a game yet, but you probably haven't played your best footy. There's so much to improve on, isn't there?
Yeah, look, we've played patches of really good footy. Like I thought the second half against Geelong was outstanding. I thought the win against the Swans at their ground was super given the preparation that we had. We probably haven't won as convincingly against West Coast and Richmond as what everybody out in the footy world would think we should have. We still had good patches in those games, so we're building. Hopefully we can, play a better four-quarter game this week against a really good opponent than we have. But it's just a work in progress, and you got to build your year. It doesn't always pay dividends to be, playing your best footy in April.
Chris Dane was saying on the radio the other day that Gather Round last year sort of kick-started your season. I guess this year you haven't lost yet. How do you sort of look back on the 12 months since then and the mood then compared to now?
Yeah, well, we're under. I think we went there and we were 0-3, weren't we? So yeah, it was a pretty big game, that one. We prepared very, very well for it and got a great result, and it got us going a little bit, not completely. I think we won the next week, and then then we lost our next 2, so we got to 2 and 5. So it didn't necessarily sort of ramp our season up, but it was important to get a win. And I guess I'd rather be in the position we are now than the position we were in last year when we went to gather round. And the aim now is to keep going, not to get into any sort of form slump. And it's easy enough to do in this comp because there's not too many bad teams. So we just got to make sure we're on our toes and respecting the Bulldogs. They're capable of beating anybody on their day, and so are we.
Good news, Stars. Ribs back running a couple of days ago. That's
Yeah.
some progress by the sounds of it.
Yeah, he's out there today running around. I mean, the challenge now is going to be he's had 4 weeks where he's done nothing. So he's detrained. So we've got to look after his physical build-up now and not let him play until we know that he's right to go from a physical sense. He's had a good raft of testing in the last 2 weeks. The results of those is positive, so that's great to hear. More from a personal perspective for Stas than it is for us, to be honest. But he's been given the all clear, so now it's a matter of just building him up, and that might take quite some time, somewhere probably between 6 and 8 weeks. So I wouldn't expect to see him back anytime soon.
So I presume there's still obviously testing that gets done between now and then, or is he sort of in the clear testing wise?
I'm not 100% clear on that, but I imagine because he's back running that he's been given the all clear. So it's just a matter of getting him physically right. So a month of just sitting on the couch and not doing much is not the greatest thing for an elite athlete. So he needs to get his physical conditioning back to where it was before he got the injuries.
Tom Duday did well. He'll be putting his hand up pretty soon for a team talk.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that'll be just a conversation between Tom and I. Like, obviously, he's got to get into good form, and secondly, he's got to feel confident that he's ready to go. I guess it's a little bit different than a guy that's been out for 10, 12 months with an ACL. He's been out for 2 years. So we'll bring Tom back when Tom feels he's ready to go and his form warrants it.
Chris, if you win this weekend, it'll be across 2 seasons. I think 10 wins in a row. It's been a good run.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. No, that's a good run in AFL footy. I hope you haven't mozzed us now that you said that. So I'll just try and keep going. I don't really look at those things, but thank you for that statistic.
Hey Chris, what did you make of what Brad Scott said about the coaches, about the feeling of, I don't know, frustration or at the moment?
Yeah, no, look, you saw the article during the week that Jay Clark put into the Herald Sun. I think that reflects the feelings of coaches. I think I was quoted a reasonable amount in that. So yeah, I do have strong feelings about it. I understand why the soft cap was cut back during the COVID period, but that was 2020. We're now in 2025, and the rest of the industry seems to have got back to pre-COVID levels, and football departments are still lagging behind in return to normal spending. So I know it's been increased a little bit over the last couple of years, but it's still got a long way to go before it gets back to the 9.5 million it was back before COVID. Look, I think coaching's not just coaching. It's welfare, it's psychology, it's a whole lot of things. And our players have never been under more pressure playing the game. The scrutiny that's on it, and the anxiety that can be attached to that. And we're a pretty important group, and I think ultimately, outside of the players who play the game, we're the group most responsible for the product that you see out there every week, and it's a pretty good product. And I think it's about time that that's acknowledged by the way that we're paid and by increasing soft cap as quickly as we possibly can.